Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a book that I am almost positive none of you have ever heard of. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I post a new video. Here she is, The Hare by Earnest Oldmeadow. The only reason you might have heard of this is if you watched my other video about all of my super old books. I got this at an auction, and it was in a box full of tons and tons and tons of books that were covered in like dead bugs and like cobwebs, and they're just really gross. And some of them were salvageable, like this guy, and so we kept those and we put the other ones in bags and tried to like kill the bugs and like dust them off. And anyway, so this one was just like in a spare bedroom in my house for a really long time, and one day I noticed it because it has this cute little door on the side, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, like this book is so old, let me look it up on Goodreads and see what it's about, because I just assumed it was still in print, and then I couldn't find anything about it on Goodreads at all. So then that was kind of weird. So I looked it up online and I found one copy that was available, but there were no pictures of it. And then you could get a hardback copy that was new on Amazon for like $900, and I'm not even sure if that was a real ad. So it was all just very strange. So I felt like I needed to read this because probably no one else in the world was reading it right now. Probably no one had read it in years, and I just wanted to know what it was all about. The first page really hooked me, and I felt like I had to keep going. It says, "It's Batwood, Puffer Batwood. By Jove, it's Reading. Hanged if it isn't good old Teddy Reading. I thought you were in Spain. No, I'm in Bulford. It's ages since I last saw you, Teddy. Ages. Let me see. How many years? What's today? It's Tuesday, the 17th of May, 1864. Thanks. I knew it was Tuesday, and I even had some faint suspicion of the May and the 64, but thanks for the 17. I always forget the day of the month. May the 17th, 64. Puffer, it's 12 years, almost to the day, since my father left Bulford, and it's nearly 13 years since you and I last met." Is that not the weirdest interaction between two people that you've ever heard? So I just kept going because it was kind of ridiculous, and it turned into a little bit of a mystery, which was interesting. And so then I felt like I had to keep going to figure out what was going on. And yeah, so I posted on this Facebook group that I'm in about books that I was reading this book and that I was pretty sure no one else was reading it and that it was like kind of interesting. And someone commented and said that they had done some research and found a review of the book from 1921, which is the copyright date that's in this book, and someone had said that it was a love story. So I had spent so long reading this book. It wasn't hard to understand, but there was some language used or like some things referenced that I just really didn't get because I was so far removed from the story. Like I said, it was published in 1921, but like it said at the beginning, it's set in the 1800s, and we kind of move through the 1800s in the book. So yeah, also it's in England, so there were a lot of references to things that I don't understand because I live in America in the 21st century, but it was interesting for sure. And I looked up the author, and he wrote articles for a magazine that was about Catholicism, basically. So I definitely saw some of that seeping into the book. Like, obviously, he focused a lot on churches, and he would like casually mention if people were Protestant or Catholic. And so after the mystery at the beginning of the book, which, should I spoil, like, is anyone going to read this? Are you going to be able to get it anywhere? I don't know, but basically, the main character's name is Hare Kogan, and I think Earnest Oldmeadow wrote some other books with him as a main character, because there is another book that he has called Kogan. So they call him the Hare because he moves to Germany, and the German word Herr, I think, means man, and they're English, so they pronounce it Hare. It's supposed to be a pun, so they call him the Hare because he thinks he's like a musician, and he thinks that if he pretends that he's German or Italian or French, so they don't think English people can write good music. So he travels throughout Europe meeting people, and people keep thinking that he is like not royalty, but like part of the nobility or something, because he's super well educated. But throughout the entire thing, he keeps reiterating that his father was a rag and bones man, which I had to look up, but basically his family wasn't super well off, but he took time to teach himself music, and he read a lot of literature and was like very proper and educated despite his humble beginnings. So people think that he's pretending to be somebody else, but he's not. But they don't believe him, and they think that he's just trying to really make people think that he's pretending to be someone else. So he keeps traveling throughout Europe because every time he faces a problem or somebody tries to insist that he is royalty of some kind, he just bolts. And he sort of gets involved with some monks after almost drowning. Like, it is a trip for sure. But throughout the entire thing, I just kept thinking about this review from 1921 about how it was supposed to be a love story, and he never meets anyone, and I was so confused about what was going on until like there was maybe a fourth of the book left, maybe not even that much, when he finally meets this woman. Here, let me find it. This is broken into books. Okay, so book 3 is called The Raven, which was the nickname of this woman. So this is how much of the book I read before we finally started to get a love story. And meanwhile, they don't even fall in love for most of this, and you finally think they're gonna get together, and she gets lost on a mountain, and he has to go try to save her, and she dies. They don't fall in love. There's no love story. They like sort of keep looking at each other weird, and then she dies. And the whole thing is about how he was Protestant, and he went to Europe and saw how beautiful the Catholic monasteries and the Catholic churches were, and then realizes that this girl that he likes is Catholic, and by the end he just like becomes a devout Catholic. Like, the entire book was just trying to convert us. I am so mad at this random woman from 1921 that told me that this is a love story, because I was just waiting for it and then it didn't happen. So take that with a grain of salt. It is not a love story at all. It's a travel diary, and it's sort of a religious conversion pamphlet. So I looked up why books go out of print. I mean, I assumed it was because not enough people wanted to read them, but I looked it up, and yeah, it's because not enough people want to read them. So I really think that we don't need this book anymore. It was a lot. It was interesting. It was an okay time, but I just kept waiting for there to be more, and then there wasn't. The end was such a letdown. So maybe this one needed to be lost to time. I'm glad I read it. I don't think I'll ever read it again, and don't know if I would pick up anything else he wrote. But that, my friends, is why you don't pick your next book from a barn. And that is my spoiler-filled review of The Hare by Earnest Oldmeadow. Thank you for watching. If you want me to review other books, please let me know what you would like me to read. If you want to see more of my old book collection, let me know. I have recently gotten a few more because the book sale near our house is selling them for so cheap and they're so pretty and I have no self-control. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! The one good reason to read this book, or at least make it to page 69, is that on said page, the best insult of all time is slung, and that is that one of the main characters, Edward Redding, calls this other guy an ill-made top-heavy jelly. That's perfect. That's the perfect insult. Please feel free to use it on any and every person you see. That's all.